Alfred Russel Wallace lived in Grays for a number of years. He's mostly remembered for his association with Charles Darwin in proposing the theory of the evolution of species by natural selection. Wallace was born on the 8th of January 1823. The family moved to Hertford when he was 3, and he received his formal education in the town, leaving school when he was 14. In 1837, he was apprenticed as a surveyor and worked for over 6 years on surveys for the new railways. But any spare time was spent in training himself as a naturalist by reading, attending lectures at the Workers' Educational Association, and by observation and collecting in the field. At the age of 25, and with £100 saved from his earnings, he set off for South America with a like-minded friend, Henry Bates. They were to collect botanical specimens for sale to museums and private collectors. He returned home after 4 years with a growing reputation. Early in 1858, he wrote to Charles Darwin, enclosing a paper entitled On the Tendency of Varieties to Depart Indefinitely from the Original Type. The similarities with Darwin's own as yet unpublished ideas were startling. After much anguish on Darwin's part, it was decided by the eminent scientists of the day that the paper by Wallace and one by Darwin should be read at a meeting of the Linnean Society on the 1st of July 1858. These works went against the accepted ideas of creation, with the public finding them very difficult to believe. So it was 1862 before Wallace was back in England. For the next few years, Wallace was busy writing, lecturing and attending meetings, much of his time being spent in support of the Darwinian theory of evolution. In 1869, several of his papers had been published, which considerably enhanced his reputation. He was to become director of a museum proposed to be built in Bethnal Green. He secured the lease of 4 acres of land at Grays, which included an old chalk pit on which to build a house to his own instructions. He decided to build in concrete because there was a nearby cement works and a supply of gravel on the site. He employed Thomas Wonnacott of Farnham as his architect, who had experience in this new building material. Wallace himself laid out the grounds, including the serpentine drive from the road, now known as Dell Road. He described the grounds as a bit of wilderness that can be made into a splendid imitation of a Welsh valley. The house was finished in 1872. The directorship of the proposed museum went to another, and this, together with the death of his eldest son, appeared to have led to a decision to leave Grays. He gave other reasons, the difficulty of attending meetings in London, and damage to his plant collection by the cold north winds. The family left the Dell in July 1876, moving to Surrey. Wallace continued to write, attend meetings and lecture, including a lecture tour in America. Eventually he moved to Dorset in the summer of 1889 and lived there until his death on the 7th of November 1913.